What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Cards32 here with yet another tier list, but yet today we're going to be doing ours on retailers. Now, as you can see, we've got about 18 to 19 different retailers in front of us. We're going to get to each of them in a second, and as you guys can probably see, Novritsch's company again. Well, it's because Novritsch is considered a retailer. So he's back on the list, and I'm sure you guys want to hear me bitch and complain about him anyway. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's go ahead and start with Airsoft Atlanta. I'm going to be putting Airsoft Atlanta in the B category. I've heard pretty much nothing but good things about Airsoft Atlanta, except sometimes a little bit of long shipping times. They're based in Atlanta, as the name would state. Their warehouse is pretty big, and from what I understand, their staff's pretty good. Shipping times is good. Their inventory is pretty good. I haven't heard any bad things about bad customer service or anything like that. I honestly don't know a lot about them. I've done a little bit of research, but it doesn't seem like there's a lot of information about them. So they're going to go in the B category for now. Let's see, who do we got next? Extremetronics is going to go in the F tier. Now, Extremetronics is a company based out of California. Now, unfortunately, I have heard nothing but bad things about Extremetronics in terms of customer service. There was a few stories that were posted on Facebook and Reddit a couple months ago about how certain customers ordered products and they got the wrong things and then they were never return processed. Now, in terms of the actual in-store, I've been told the in-store service is great. But as soon as you go online, if you look at the reviews, their return and their customer service online is just flat out fucking garbage. So they're going to go in the F tier. You know, unfortunately, it's just how it is. Let's go ahead and jump to somebody next. Airsplat, S tier. Automatic S tier for trying to sell Wii and TM Glocks. Also, they're in the S tier because Jet the Desert Fox was bitching about it, how they were selling unlicensed Glocks. So Airsplat also doesn't exist as a company anymore, so this is more of a meme. So they're going to stay at S. If you have been around as long as I have, they were pretty prominent from 2012 to like 2014, 2015, and then they disappeared because of lawsuits. So, as you would expect, they're in the S tier. It's more of a meme. Don't get too angry about it. What do we got next? Airsoft Megastore is going to go in the D category. Airsoft Megastore is pretty same story as Extremetronics. They're owned by Lancer, so we're actually going to downgrade them to the F tier automatically. Automatic F tier, no question about it. The store inventory is not that bad from what I understand, but they have always been sort of a lesser-known company compared to Airsoft GI or Evike. Now, from what I understand and from what I've heard, they're literally owned by Lancer. That's why you see them pushing so much Lancer shit. So their returns, I've been told, are pretty shit. When they send you parts for some reason, they like to send them lubed to fuck. I don't know why. So yeah, they're going to go in the F tier. I'm not a big fan of Megastore. I've ordered 3 things from Megastore in the past, and it took, 3 months for one item to get shipped to me. And this was 4 years ago when I ordered a Lancer Tactical rip-off Green Zone chest rig. If you go back on my Reddit profile, you can probably see that I was running that a few years ago. Complete garbage, and it sucks. So can't recommend Airsoft Megastore. Who do we got next? PTS US is going to go in the C category. They're mostly going in the C category because they can't ship to Virginia for some fucking retarded reason. So that's why I'm putting them in the C tier. Overall, PTS makes some good shit, though. The EPM ones are okay. I still recommend the original PTS EPMs. I love my EPM ones. I don't use M4s. In fact, I barely play anymore. But still, they're going to go in the C cat. They're going to go in the C category. Shipping, I've heard, has also been really slow, and not even shipping, more like processing times, because shipping really isn't the company's control. So let's move on. Amped Airsoft is also going to go in the S tier. I'm a big fan of Amped Airsoft. They are probably one of my favorite retailers on this entire list, if not my favorite. They are known for HBA, Red Lines, Polar Stars, all that sorts of cool stuff. They sell pretty much everything HBA related. Their storefront is awesome. Their guys are awesome. And they also draw like these really badass pictures. If you request, there's this artist that works there. His name escapes me at this current moment. And he writes them on like a piece of paper, like saying thanks for ordering. Their processing times are good. Their shipping times that they've been sending out have been really good. And I'm a big fan of Amped. They are coming out to my event in May, so I hope to see you guys. Some of there. They're bringing their trailers. So Amped is going to go in the S tier. Probably a lesser known company compared to the rest of these, but some people, I'm sure most people know who Amped is. Let's see, who do we got next? Modern Airsoft, F tier. Let me just readjust that. There we go. Put you right there. So if you guys don't know the story behind Modern Airsoft, they're also a gigantic Lancer shill, but there was this pretty long story about how this employee who worked there pretty much had this like exposing story about how fucking garbage the management was. Now this could have changed because I believe this was about a year and a half ago, but it was about how the employees were treated like garbage. They weren't allowed breaks. They weren't allowed to go to the bathroom, and all of their stocks. You would order something and it wouldn't be in stock, so they would have to drive to Evike to pick it up and go and get there. And their processing times are garbage. And I'm not a big fan of Modern. It disappoints me to see that Dayton from House Gamers shills for them quite a bit. They have a couple stores in California, but I'm just not a big fan of them overall, so that's why they're in F. Let's see, who do we got next? Airsoft GI. You guys are probably wondering where I'm going to put them. They're going to go in the D category, okay? Now, I'm not putting Airsoft GI in the D category specifically only because of Lancer. Now, I do not like that they shill Lancer a lot, and they claim, Lancer is great. Something I don't like about them, but they did help me out with my event for free without charging me anything. So that's something I do appreciate. But what I do not appreciate is their processing times and their customer service. This is two biggest things that I don't like. It could take several months or weeks for a single item to get shipped. Just processing. I'm not talking about shipping. I'm talking about processing. There's been all sorts of posts that have come out in the past 6 months as we're coming around the mend to COVID. My product from Airsoft GI still hasn't shipped. It's been 5 months. Where is it? And during COVID, their customer service was just non-existent. And obviously, some people working remote, so that is, there is only so much they can do. But I'm not a big fan. And also, their web store. Their web store is just so fucking bad. If you guys saw what it looked like before they changed it, it was even worse. Evike's UI looks great. Evike's UI looks fantastic. And that's probably the reason why they're the biggest store in the U.S. GI also has an extremely limited stock about what they sell. It seems like they're only pushing Lancer Tactical and Classic Army. Those are the two primary brands I see them pushing. They don't push G&G, they don't push KWA, they don't push PTS. They don't push those companies. It's weird that to see that company, as many brands as there are in the industry, that you're only pushing two companies. So that's my personal gripe with them, and that's why I think they're in the D category. I don't think they're an awful company, but I definitely do not think they're a good one. What do we got next? Let's do Evike. Evike is going to go in the B category. Now, everybody in the United States knows who Evike is, but for my viewers that aren't based in the U.S., Evike is considered the biggest airsoft company in the world. They have the biggest warehouse, biggest in-house store in the world. Their store is massive. They've got the widest selection of guns, and I sound like a shill here, but I'm just telling you. They've got so many different brands under their belt. They sell almost every brand that exists. They sell all the TM and Wii products they can. Obviously not the Glocks because they're not allowed to. But the main reason that they're in B and they're not higher is because Evike is essentially a monopoly. That's what they are. They are known for doing some very behind-the-scenes shady shit. And while I think their UI and their stock is great, especially the sales they have going, I don't like that they push Matrix and APS so much, but they're constantly having sales on everything that they have. They are pushing the SEMA Plats now, which is great because the SEMA Plats, if you guys aren't aware, are fucking fantastic. Their website UI, I said it once already, but their website is fucking great. Whoever designed their website is probably one of the main reasons they're doing so well. I know most of this, or not most of us, but stimulus checks just hit in the U.S., so you can damn be sure that they're spending some hella money there. And they have their weekly deals. They have epic deals. Like I said, there's sales every day. There's sales every week. I don't like the mystery boxes they sell, but they sell out within 2 minutes of being up. So that's why they're in the B tier. I don't think that they're a bad company. I still think they're the best in the United States, but I don't personally think they're the best, if that makes any sense. So let's go ahead and move on. Let's do Novritsch, the European division. We're going to put them in the D tier. In fact, we're just going to put them both in the D tier. Because I don't think that, I've said this once recently, but Novritsch's guns aren't bad. They aren't great. That's the thing. They are mediocre rebrands that you pay a premium for his name for. Negative just came out with a video today talking about how pretty much it's not really Novritsch's fault that the SSR is shit. It's more like VFC's, which I would agree. I think that if they put the SEMA Platinum gearbox inside of the SSR 15, they would sell better and they would be cheaper. But the primary reason they're in D is because their shipping times and their customer service. The customer service, you're going to hear me, I've said this already, but the customer service for these two fucking divisions are absolute terrible garbage. the amount of back and forth that I personally had to go through in my experience a couple years ago was terrible. But I've heard it just has not gotten better. If anything happens wrong with your gun, they're going to assume that you fucked with it. It's not their fault. It's going to be your fault that the gun's broken somehow. You remember all those pictures that when the SSR 15 came out of all those broken shit? No, that's your fault. Those springs, when the SSR 15s came to the UK, all the springs, nah, that's your fault. It's shooting 50 FPS below? Nah, that's your fault. So I'm not a big fan of them, as you guys are probably well aware. So they're going to stay in the D category. So yeah, Silo. Silo is actually considered retailer because he has his own store. F. Oops, a little too big. Silo is in the F tier because he 3D prints stuff and then charges like anywhere from $200 to $300 for a 3D printed kit. I'm all for being an entrepreneur and being your own business, but ripping off your customers is just absolutely fucking ludicrous. Now, I know here in the U.S., not a lot of people buy his shit because you have to pay a fuckload of money for shipping to come across the pond to buy his shit. But from the things I've seen from his European buyers, the kits themselves are not that great. And he just sells the SSGs. I think he is the only other store in the world that is able to sell SSGs. And from what he has said, he does own his own warehouse. And as far as I know, customer service isn't that great. Shipping times are also pretty bad, but shipping really you can't, especially during COVID, you can't really feed them for that. Who do we have next on our list? Umbrella. Umbrella Armory is going to go in the C category. You guys are probably shocked by this because I've spoken very highly of Umbrella in the past, but Umbrella has a very big problem with shipping times. Now, I understand that they're a small store. I understand that things are made to order, and I understand that they are a small store. With that being said, sometimes it takes customers months to get their replicas. Now, like I said, I understand it's a small store, but waiting up to 8 weeks for a gun to be shipped is kind of just ridiculous, in my opinion. They have fixed, you know what, we are going to put them in the B category. I think their shipping times have definitely improved since I talked about, when I first started the channel, if you guys have been here, which most of you haven't, one of the first videos I did was pretty much a brand review on Umbrella, which was pretty shit, in my own opinion, because I'm looking back on my own video. And their shipping times and their quality control from 2017 was pretty fucking atrocious. Even the owner admitted, hey, yeah, it was pretty bad. Pretty spot on about that. So, and I'm an Umbrella user myself, or I'm trying to get rid of my Umbrella, or I have been. I think their guns are good. I just think that they're a lot to pay for, and you won't ever catch me paying that much money for a replica again. So, they're going to be in the B category. Who do we have left? Crown Airsoft. We're going to put them in the A category. Crown Airsoft is a company not based in the United States. They're based in Taiwan. They are a company that exports, Glocks, pretty much they export WE and TM Glocks into the United States. I've never heard any bad things about Crowns, possibly some long shipping times, but you guys have to realize we're still unfortunately going through COVID, even though we're on the mend, and shipping times, it's not really the retailer's fault. Processing times, on the other hand, that is the retailer's fault. But from what I'm seeing about Crown, their processing times have been pretty good overall. And the fact that they're able to export W and TM Glocks in the U.S. without being seized is pretty fucking good in my opinion. The seized Glocks doesn't really happen anymore because retailers like Crown have kind of figured out a way to not make it so they get seized by the ATF. So they're going to be in the A category. All right, we have 4 left. SS Airsoft is going to go in the C category. The primary reason for this is they are pretty much the only reason why Hop-Up is garbage. Just kidding. They spam Hop-Up with ads, and of course the guy who owns Hop-Up has not fixed this issue or made it so there's a way for you not to see their posts, because even if you block them, you still see their posts. They spam there should be a section on Hop-Up for retailers. I'm not a big fan of them also because they're another gigantic Lancer shill. Their field is great from what I tell. Their in-store staff seems like they're pretty knowledgeable. But I'm just not a big fan of companies that just shill Lancer a lot. So that's why they're in the C category. RedWolf, we're going to put them in the B category. I think RedWolf is pretty much the biggest store outside of America. They're based in Hong Kong. And their shop room, their inventory is quite massive and expansive. The prices might be a little bit insane. So there's a lot of guns you see on RedWolf that you won't see here in the U.S. because they're not legal to sell. I.e. the H&K 416s that are made by different companies that have all the trademarks and shit that Heckler & Koch would pretty much kill you here in the U.S. Same thing with Glock. I haven't heard anything bad about processing times. I've only heard one bad thing in 5 years, relatively bad about them saying they didn't process a refund correctly. But I think 1 for 5 years is pretty good. All right, Fox Airsoft I think is also another C. I think C is a good place to put them. And now we're going to put them in B, I think. They don't push Lancer as much as they used to, so that's definitely why I'm putting them in B. Just another company that just sells guns. They're not that big. I know somebody here in Virginia who's sponsored by them. From what I understand, they seem like pretty good people, so I haven't heard anything negative, like bad reviews, they stole my money and never shipped an item, anything like that. So, yeah. We have Airsoft Extreme and a Evike Outpost. So this Evike Outpost is going to go in the A category. Now, Battle Lab in California is considered one of the best, I guess, super CQC indoor arenas. They allow you to use a replica up to 30 RPS as long as your replica is shooting under 350 FPS, which is good. And I haven't heard anything negative about shipping times or anything like that. They're an outpost, so they're not the full store of Evike. And that's why they're higher than the actual store, because they don't run monopolies like the actual big OG does. Airsoft Extreme is another B company that I really haven't heard a lot about. I haven't heard anything negative. I haven't heard anything like they're the best company ever. So that's going to do it for this video, guys. This is my brand. This is my personal opinion brand or company retailer tier list. Now, I want to know what you guys think, obviously. Note that this is my personal opinion. Everybody's going to have a different opinion on who is the best and who is the best company. Some people are probably really surprised that I put Evike this low. Not low, but not in the A or the S tier, because I don't think they're the best. So I also want to apologize for not uploading on Monday. I'm still kind of under the weather. I don't feel fantastic. I also have been working nonstop for the past 2 weeks on the weekends, so I haven't had that normal time to edit. So I want to thank you guys for tuning in, and until next time, I will see you guys later.